Welcome to the hottest movie review on the internet today, the A-List Review. I'm your host, the Game Changer, Wes Truth. This week, I have 5 new reviews for you. First, we're going to look at the 2 big hits that released this week in theaters, 50 Shades of Grey and The Kingsman. And then we're going to look at 3 new releases that came out on DVD and Blu-ray this week. The Best of Me, Alexander and the Horrible, Terrible, No Good, Very Bad Day, and Nightcrawler. So let's kick it off and let's get a little kinky, shall we, with 50 Shades of Grey. A college literature major fills in for her friend who has an interview with a big-shot billionaire businessman. The two hit it off and end up having what you could call a complicated relationship. So what did I think of 50 Shades of Grey? I thought it's a somewhat satisfying romance film based on the uber-popular book series. Now, first things first, the whole premise is a bit silly. Had they taken the movie in a super serious direction, it could have possibly been a train wreck. Luckily, there is a lot more humor here than I expected, even to the point of making me laugh out loud. That's right, LOL. The more serious moments, sometimes as ridiculous as they can be, actually play out fine. If you take away the bondage, you have a simple love story. Will the guy give in to what the girl wants, or will he stay, well, dominant? There are some pretty steamy love scenes, about on par with some of the late-night Cinemax movies. Not that, I've seen any of those. Yeah. When we get into Grey's playroom, things get a little strange as we see our heroine be restrained to the bed with a necktie, handcuffs, get whipped, and struck on the behind. I actually expected things to be a little more racy than they were. The cast does nice work and stars Jamie Dornan as Christian Grey, the tycoon who has a few particular different tastes in the bedroom, and Dakota Johnson as Anastasia Steele, the student who's inexperienced with sexuality, but is introduced to a whole new array of experiences. A whole new world, yeah. Some bondage and butt plugs I never knew. Alright, okay. Family show. Anyway, Johnson and Dornan have great chemistry, and while there might be a few ladies disappointed having to settle for just Jamie's full moon, I felt like I slept with Dakota seeing her in the buff as much as she is. Not that I'm really complaining. Also in the cast, Louise Mumford as Kate, Anna's roommate and best friend, Luke Grimes as Elliot Grey, Christian's brother who hooks up with Kate, and Marcia Gay Harden as Grace, Grey's mother, thrilled to see him in a relationship. The ending also comes out of left field and leaves audiences wanting more. And it should surprise those who read the book too, from what I'm told. While I'm not going to become a super fan or rush out to buy the books, I actually enjoyed 50 Shades of Grey and thought it was a lot less painful of an experience than I thought it would be. I'm going to give it the rating of, funny enough, do it. And it was done. And if you aren't feeling so much in the Valentine's mood this weekend, you can go and see more of an action-adventure film. Here are my thoughts on Kingsman: The Secret Service. A young man is recruited by a secret agent who knew his father to train to join an elite spy organization. During all of this, a criminal mastermind is looking to control the population of the world in his own way. So what did I think of Kingsman: The Secret Service? I thought it's an engaging action comedy based off of a comic book. The action scenes are first-rate, including a cool car chase, a brawl in a pub, and a super violent clash in a church, which brings back fond memories of Kill Bill. There's an explosive finale to cap everything off as well. The film has some nice wit to it, and it's nice to see everything isn't taken too seriously. It's also a send-up sorts to James Bond and other spy flicks, but knows when to play it straight. We see the trials the agent wannabes have to go through, and also get a fresh take on the master and protege storyline with the right amount of surprises. The great cast includes newcomer Taron Egerton as Gary Eggsy Unwin, the troublemaking teen who could have had a bright future and is given a second chance. Egerton does a nice job, and I'll be glad to see more of him in future projects. Colin Firth as Harry Hart, the agent who was saved by Eggsy's father and now feels like he owes him one by keeping a watchful eye on his son. This is the first time I've seen Firth kick some serious arse, and I must say I'd love to see him do it more often. Also, Michael Caine as Arthur, the head of the Kingsman, looking to bring in new recruits. Samuel L. Jackson as Richmond Valentine, the eccentric millionaire with an evil plan to change the world as we know it. Mark Strong as Merlin, an agent in charge of the training process. Sophie Cookson as Roxy, Eggsy's friend and fellow trainee. And Mark Hamill, yes, Luke Skywalker himself, as James Arnold, a Professor Valentine has kidnapped. Kingsman: The Secret Service is a slick spy thriller that also manages to be fun along the way. I'm going to give it the rating of do it. Yes, that's right, 2 positive reviews in the theaters this week. Manners maketh man. Okay, so coming to Blu-ray and DVD this week. First, with Valentine's Day, we got a little romantic movie to look at. Here's my review of The Best of Me. Two high school loves meet again after not seeing one another for over 20 years after the death of a mutual friend. With the complications between them, will these two hit it off yet again? So what did I think of The Best of Me? I thought it's a stale romantic drama. It's based on the novel by Nicholas Sparks, who hasn't gotten a positive review out of me since The Notebook. But I guess I'm thankful it's not as bad as last year's Safe Haven. Ooh, the shudders, ooh! Anyway, everything here is just about as predictable and cheesy as it gets. We see the two begin to reconnect and chat about what's been going on since they last saw each other, including being married and having kids. Throughout all this, we see flashbacks of the couple's high school days when she was a popular girl hanging with the jocks and he was a quiet mechanic. Didn't I just see this before earlier in the 2014 season with Endless Love? We also get, flashbacks of Whoomp, there it is, woo! Alright, the story sees the cliches pile up, including abusive family members that seem like they're right out of Deliverance, seeing the lovers kiss in the rain, not upside down unfortunately, dance to old records, not Dennis Yost, have some sexy time, and of course have a few corny montages. There's always time for the corny montage, people. As if it wasn't bad enough, the film takes an unexpected turn into a ridiculous finale that left a bad taste in my mouth, but I'm sure some of the tweens will cry. Wah. James Marsden stars as Dawson, no not the Creek, an oil rig worker who survived an explosion and is thrown back into the world of the love of his life, and Michelle Monaghan as Amanda, Dawson's ex-girlfriend, who only got married because he was out of her life. I'm a fan of these two actors, but just wish they had better material to work with. Luke Bracey and the cute Liana Liberato play younger versions of Dawson and Amanda, and Jared McRaney as Tuck, the widowed older gentleman who took Dawson under his wing. While the target audience will probably love it, there are better date night flicks out there than The Best of Me, which is one of the worst for me. I'm gonna give it the rating of suck it. Yes, I was not very impressed with The Best of Me. Watch 50 Shades of Grey instead for a more interesting take on the story. Those first few titles I released weren't exactly family-friendly, so if you're looking for a family-friendly movie, here's my review of Alexander and the Whatever Day. An 11-year-old boy wishes that his family could all suffer through a miserable day, much like he's been having. Nice kid. The wish seems to come true as one calamity after another starts to affect each member of the family. So what did I think of Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day? I thought it's a likable family comedy based on the 1972 children's book. Every one of us has had bad days, and we can laugh about it sometime down the road, so we can relate at least to some of the antics seen here. There are a lot of gags the kids will eat up, from the usual baby peeing in the kitchen and characters vomiting. But there's also some laughs for the older audience, my favorite being a book reading by Dick Van Dyke that goes awry. There are a few questionable things here, such as 11-year-olds playing with fire in chemistry class. Maybe they're just in an accelerated program? I don't know. The film also has a nice message of no matter how bad the day gets, you always have your family. It also brings back the family comedy, which has seen its genre sort of fizzle out over the years. But it reminds me of hits such as Jumanji and Mrs. Doubtfire. The cast stars Ed Oxenbould as Alexander Cooper, the young boy who wishes his family could experience a disappointing day like him. Steve Carell as Ben, Alex's father, who's currently unemployed but is gearing up for a big job interview. Jennifer Garner as Kelly, Alexander's mom, who works for a publishing company with a new children's book. Dylan Minnette as Alex's older brother, who has some driving and relationship problems, and Karis Dorsey as Emily, his older sister who's playing Peter Pan in the school musical. Well, some jokes are hit and miss depending on your age range. Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day will provide enjoyment for the entire family. I'm gonna give it the rating of Do It. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I think you'll enjoy it as well as your kids. Alright, and finally, this movie has picked up a lot of buzz for Jake Gyllenhaal's performance. Here are my thoughts on Nightcrawler. A wannabe news cameraman decides to freelance with a camcorder and police scanner to deliver first-rate footage he can sell to television stations. He ends up being successful, and when he pushes the boundaries a bit too far, he may have bitten off a bit more than he can chew. So what did I think of Nightcrawler? I thought it's an intriguing suspense drama. It raises many questions about morals, such as how far is too far for the news with what they should show for high ratings and what is just plain out wrong to broadcast. And our cameraman bends the rules quite a bit with actions such as moving crash victims at a crime scene before the police arrive to get a better shot instead of trying to help, and filming a home invasion while it's in process. The film itself can be a bit gory with some of the footage which is shot. There's also some great suspenseful moments, including a shootout and a first-rate car chase. It's also interesting to see the character grow from a thief to hiring an intern and then making demands to the person in charge of a television station. Jake Gyllenhaal stars as Lou Bloom, the creepy cameraman who will do anything for the perfect shot. This is a career highlight performance for him, and I thought he should have got a little more love this award season, but it was a tight race. Also in the cast, Renee Russo as Nina, the news director who buys Lou's footage, Bill Paxton as Joe Loader, a big shot news cameraman, and Riz Ahmed as Rick, Lou's intern who questions some of his boss's actions. Nightcrawler is smart, original, and showcases one of the most eerie characters in recent memory. It's easily worth tuning in for. I'm gonna give it the rating of Do It. That is right, 4 Do It's this week and 1 Suck It. Yeah, Nightcrawler is something to see. I don't know that I thought it lives up to the hype that everyone surrounded it with, but it's definitely worth checking out. Oh, that does it for another week here at the A-List, ladies and gentlemen, and this could be very well the last recording I do in this A-List studio. You see the boxes? The A-List studio is moving. We're moving to Ohio, so yeah, we'll see you there. I may do a Oscar prediction video sometime during the week and have it up, and there might just be next Sunday night a live feed of the Oscars, my reactions and whatnot. We watch together. You're bored? Whatevs. There might be. I'm not sure because I'll be in Ohio, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But of course, until next time, you can subscribe right here on YouTube, youtube.com/westside515. Like me on Facebook, facebook.com/WestTroopAlist. Follow me on the Twitter and the Instagram @WestAlist. And of course, you can buy my book. It's all new. It's brand new. Brand spanking new. The A-List Review 2014 movie yearbook. Over 150 reviews, only $10. Contact me if you're interested. Until next time, Troop.